One Christmas Eve, not that very long ago, the angels in heaven were getting ready for Christmas. They set up the Christmas tree and hung the ornaments. They sent each other Christmas cards. They baked Christmas cookies, and then they were finally ready for the most important decoration of all. They were ready to set up the nativity scene, so they got out all the pieces one by one and dusted them off and looked at them. Then one of the very littlest angels asked to hear the story while they set up the manger scene. One of the bigger angels started telling the story and said,
"It all started a very long time before Jesus was even born."
And the angel told them about how for many, many, many years, God promised that he would send a Messiah, a special messenger to the people. The prophet Isaiah told them that they wouldn't know him because a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. That is God with us. And how the people waited and waited for the coming of the Messiah.
They told about how the Roman emperor conquered the land of Israel, and how the emperor told all the people that they had to go back to their hometowns to be counted.
And they told how Joseph and Mary traveled a long way from Nazareth to Bethlehem. But when they got there, the city was so crowded that there was no place for them to stay. So Joseph finally found them a place in a stable, really more like a cave. And it was there that Mary gave birth to her first child, a son, and they laid him down in a food trough.
And the figures of Mary and Joseph and the baby. Then they told about how on the night that Jesus was born, there were shepherds watching their sheep in the fields, and an angel appeared to them and said,
"I bring you good news for all people. Today is born the Savior, Christ the Lord, and you'll find him in a stable in Bethlehem."
And then all the angels appeared and said,
"Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace to goodwill to all."
the shepherds and the sheep in the manger scene.
And then they told how wise men from the east came to Jerusalem and asked King Herod where the newborn king of the Jews was, because King Herod was troubled and asked the scholars about where Christ was to be born. And they told him in Bethlehem. So he sent the wise men to Bethlehem and asked them to come back and tell him when they found the baby. But the wise men were warned not to, and after they had found Jesus and worshipped him, they went home another way. And they put the wise men and their camels in the manger scene. And when the manger scene was completed, they all stood back and admired it, and remembered that from those few people gathered around that barn in Bethlehem, the message of the coming of God's Son spread to all the world and even reaches us today.
Please stand and join in spreading the news of the coming of God's Son by singing hymn 99, Go Tell It on the Mountain.